As a class, over the years, we have grown into the young men and women we are today. Many of you probably remember me in kindergarten, first, second, and even the beginning of third grade, and how shy I was. In Mrs. Cox's third grade class, we were given the assignment to write a play. Thanks to Mrs. Cox and Mrs. Kennedy's encouragement, we spent the next 2 years going from class to class performing skits. Remember Grandma Wars and Squirrel? My perception or paradigm of myself quickly began to shift. No longer was I that quiet, shy grade schooler. A paradigm is your perception, the way you see something, your point of view, frame of reference, or belief. A negative paradigm is kind of like wearing glasses with the wrong prescription. Let me give you a few quotes of some famous inaccurate perceptions or paradigms. This telephone has too many shortcomings to be seriously considered as a means of communication. The device is inherently of no value to us. This quote was given by Western Union Memo in 1876. Can you believe they said this about the telephone that was invented by Alexander Graham Bell? The next quote. For the majority of people, the use of tobacco has a beneficial effect. This quote was given by Dr. Ian McDonald, Los Angeles surgeon, November 18, 1969. We don't like their sound. Groups of guitars are on the way out. This quote was given by Decca Records, rejecting the Beatles in 1962. It's hard to believe, but they were convinced they were right. Everyone has paradigms about the world, other people, and ourselves. If you believe you're not smart enough, pretty enough, or even athletic enough, that is all you can see. As we have moved from 6th grade to 7th and finally 8th, whether you realize it or not, your paradigm has begun to shift. For some, it has been a gradual shift. For others, their paradigm shifted quite suddenly and not by choice, with a little help from Mr. Scheffler. If you had Mr. Buttry in 6th grade, then you would remember him encouraging our class to be involved in school and not just sit at home every day on the computer or watching TV. Much to my parents' dismay, I took his advice quite literally. I tried almost every sport and I joined every club. Pushing myself to join things has helped me become more confident. Don't get me wrong, I was completely terrified being a new 6th grader. I mean, you remember what it was like being a 6th grader and having to decide if you should walk down the 7th or 8th grade hallway. I used to wait near the front office as long as I could until the coast was clear. As our class of 2019 enters Williamsville High School, our experiences will continue to shape our view of the world and our paradigms will continue to shift. I challenge you to try new things, make new friends, and spend time with those who believe in you. Life's too short for you to not do what you love. These next 4 years are going to fly by. This is why we need to make sure we live life to the fullest. I would like to thank all of the Sherman Elementary and Williamsville Junior High teachers, staff members, and administration. Finally, I want to give a special thank you to Mr. Muskoff, Mrs. Cole, and my music teacher, Mrs. Anderson, who have helped so many of us not just perform music, but to really love it. To the class of 2019, as we begin to face new challenges, at some point, we may begin to question if we have what it takes. Just remember, Decca Records believed the Beatles wouldn't make it either. Thank you.
Thank you, Julia. So I have a speech prepared, but first, let's take some selfies. The class of 2019, a work in progress. Remember kindergarten when our biggest goals were to master sitting in our seats and keeping our hands to ourselves in order to get the coveted green label of approval to proudly share with our parents at the end of the day? My biggest problem back then was coming up with a clever illness or injury to feign to gain me a trip to see our wonderful school nurse, Mrs. Rue. Oh, come on. I know you did too. I mean, who didn't love Mrs. Rue? Well, as we've grown, the labels aren't as simple as the green, yellow, or red that our teachers used to assign us based on our behavior. Those labels might have defined a day, but they were easily forgotten the next. We still deal with labels, be it the smart kid, the underachiever, the athlete, the troublemaker, the artist or the musician, the popular kid, or even the outcast. But who says that these colors have to be written in permanent ink? Isn't it all the colors together that make a rainbow so vibrant and beautiful? I think that our class is a work in progress. And in the halls of WJHS, we've been learning lessons about Common Core. No, not that Common Core. Not the Common Core that is taught in classrooms and provided hours of torture for our parents as they tried to help us with simple math assignments. No, I'm talking about the Common Core found inside us all that holds our vibrant class of 2019 together. Because no matter what label society has given you or what you chose to put on yourself, we're all the same at the core. We all want to be accepted and loved for who we are and to be successful in whatever terms we choose to define it. Trying to fit in has been something that's always haunted us. I still remember walking down the hallway in 6th grade and seeing all the different friend groups as they talked and gathered while I stood aside trying to figure out where I fit into the puzzle. Junior high has been a time of discovering who we are while we figured out who we want to become. We've made new friends and lost a few old ones. We've made mistakes and learned some hard lessons. Some of us more so than others. But all of us have had some tough times. And hey, you can't have a rainbow without the occasional red and yellow, right? We just need to remember that these things do not define us. As we leave junior high, we can shed our current set of labels. We just have to remember that judging people is the easy thing to do, not the right thing to do. If we judge others, we are not trying to understand or have compassion for each other. When you judge someone or give them a label, you are not defining who they are. However, you are defining who you are. I would like to challenge my classmates that in these few years we have left together, we strive to understand and accept one another, rather than to judge. To quote Anthony Michael Hall in the timeless movie, The Breakfast Club, you see us as you want to see us, in the simplest terms and most convenient definitions. But what we found out is that each of us is a brain, and an athlete, and a basket case, a princess, and a criminal. See, if we remember our common core, we realize we aren't so different after all. The poet Dos Antamata wrote, "Through judging we separate, through understanding we grow." I, for one, look forward to growing with each of you as we start this new chapter of our lives. So yes, the class of 2019 is a work in progress, but I'm so glad I get to enjoy this great group of people for the next 4 years as we each build our rainbows.
Thank you, ladies. That was very enjoyable. Good work on that. Mrs. Henderson, good stuff. Thank you. All right, 8th graders, it's that time.